All right, joining me live on the broadcast now, we have with us Mr. Ajay Srivastav, who's the founder, Global Trade Research Initiative, and he's live with us from Delhi. Mr. Srivastav, thank you so much for joining me here on World Business Watch. Sir, how will the zero for zero tariff strategy impact India-US trade? Let's begin with that.
So Shivan, we have three possible options to deal with the reciprocal tariffs. One is doing a full-fledged FTA, as is being currently talked, or we don't do the FTA and cut the tariffs at the MFN level, which means we cut the tariffs not only for the US, but for whole of the world. And third, the strategy suggested by the GTRI is that we offer a zero to zero plan to the US, which means we cut the tariffs only for the US and not for the rest of the world. This means, and it will be good, safe for the Indian industry if we choose the tariff lines properly. And one way to choose such tariff lines is that we already have so many FTAs, and our FTAs with ASEAN, Japan, and South Korea, we have already offered 90% tariff zero imports from these countries into India. And we can identify lines from these and offer selectively industrial lines from these to the US. And we should do it very fast. I mean, before in April, they show us what they're going to impose on us through reciprocal tariffs. So that will preempt their move.
Mr. Srivastav, as you mentioned that we either cut tariffs for the entire world or we cut tariffs specifically for the US. But my question here is, can India afford to remove tariffs without harming domestic industries?
Yes. If we do it zero for zero only for the US, we can do it without harming domestic industry, because already imports from Japan, ASEAN, and South Korea, the most competitive, I mean, at least more competitive than US nations, they are already coming to India at zero tariff for the past at least 10 to 15 years. And our industry is reconciled with those. I say, look at those products which are already entering India at zero tariffs, and then tweak the lines to make it US sensitive. And then from these, identify 90% of the industrial tariff lines and offer it to US fast. I don't see any danger for the domestic industry in this approach. Of course, the domestic industry will be in danger if we propose cutting tariffs at the MFN level, which is I cut tariff for everybody, including for China. Understood. That is also being talked, but we don't support that.
Mr. Srivastav, as you mentioned that there are certain products which are already coming in at zero tariffs. If you were to consider the zero for zero plan, which commodities do you foresee taking a hit, and also those which will gain from this plan?
So first, Shivan, without zero to zero, let's see which commodities will be hit most. So it's not clear what's in Trump administration's mind. They don't know whether they want to hit the entire country with one single tariff.
Yes.
In that case, we have calculated the weighted average tariff difference between US and India is 4.9% only. And if they want to go at the agriculture and industry level, for agriculture, they may hit with additional tariffs of 32.4%. For industry, they may hit with 3.9% additional tariffs. But we don't know what they want to do. They want to hit with single tariffs or the sectoral tariff. If they want to go at the further sector level, our automobiles will be worst hit with the 23% tariffs, electronics with 7.2% tariffs. Garments will be least hit with 1.4% tariff. But this is if our zero for zero proposal don't go through and they take action against us. If zero to zero goes through, then since we are proposing zero tariffs on everything industrial except agriculture products, I think these tariffs will be meaningless, and there will be no impact of all these hullabaloo from the US.
That's exactly what I wanted to come to next. If you can elaborate a little further on that, how do you reckon US would be responding to this proposal from India?
So we can't read Mr. Trump's mind. You know, he himself in his first term negotiated USMCA with Canada and Mexico, and he has gone ahead, disregarded every negotiations and imposed 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. Of course, he postponed it for 1 month. So he doesn't have any respect for the FTAs. He doesn't have any respect for his long-term allies. So we don't know how he's going to respond to our zero for zero. But we should make an honest attempt. If he responds to it, it's very good for both of us. If he doesn't respond, then we will take our actions like we did in 2019, when in 2018 they hit us with the tariffs on steel and aluminum. We waited for full 15 months and then we we impose counter tariffs, we retaliated. So that's the approach we should take if they don't hear. So if their grouse is India has high tariffs, okay, we say, okay, we are making tariffs for you for zero tariffs. If you don't agree to me, that means you have some other motives like pressurizing India in defense deals or opening of India's pharma sectors or government procurement sector. We don't know that, but we should never compromise on those bigger deals. He is telling the world it's tariffs. India is tariff king. So we are saying, okay, take zero from us. If something else in mind, we don't know. We'll come to know. If we come to know, then we'll respond.
We'll need to wait and watch for that. What's in Trump's mind is
Yes.
something only Trump can answer. Mr. Ajay Srivastava, thank you so much for breaking all of that down for us and our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Mr. Srivastava, founder, Global Trade Research Initiative, joining me here on World Business Watch.